You're listening to 88.5 FM WRKC, Radio Kings College in Wilkes-Barre. Right now, with me here in the studio, I have Claus Lessman, former vocalist of the German band Bonfire, and now vocalist of a new band on Frontiers called Phantom 5. Claus, welcome to the show. I want to start off with the first question, and that is, how did the band Phantom 5 form, and how did you come up with your band name?
Well, actually, it was the idea of the owner of the Frontiers label, Serafino, to form the Phantom 5 thing. And he gave Michael a call, I think it was right before Christmas, and Michael called me and asked me if I would be on the ship, to be the singer of Phantom 5. But at that time, of course, the name even didn't exist. But after my split from Bonfire, there could not be anything better to happen to me, and so I said yes, and we started writing, and thinking about how the album could sound like, because Serafino said the only thing he wants to have is a melodic rock album, and in the first place, we didn't really know what to do, because that's what we do, writing melodic rock songs. And then was the thing with the name. There was also the idea not to name it Phantom 5. The first idea was to name it Supremacy. And but we found out that there's already another band existing in South America which had the same name. So we said, to avoid legal problems, we said we should find something else, and so one of these days we came up with Phantom 5, because Phantom is something you don't know, and we're a 5-piece band, so it was Phantom 5. There you go.
Claus, after almost 30 years in the German powerhouse band Bonfire, what led you to leaving that band?
So this is a tough question, because it's not easy to say this was the reason, but there were a lot of things, which led to this painful split, I must say, in the meantime. And but it's you can compare it like a marriage, where two partners go apart, and where many little things happen, and in the end, you said it's better to go separate ways, and so I said I can't go on anymore like it's going on with Bonfire right now, and so I said, well, that was it. And sure, it kind of hurts, especially the way things are happening, but that's the way it is.
What do you think of Bonfire continuing with David Reese, the former vocalist of Accept and Bangalore Choir?
David Reese I think he's a great singer. He will go his way with Bonfire or whatever he's doing. He's always around, and he's a good singer, and I wish him all the best.
How long have you been working with Michael Voss?
Michael and I, we know each other for a very, very long time. As you might know, he was in Bonfire after Hans left the band, I think 89, and we went on tour together with the Point Blank album all over Europe, and it was great fun working with him, playing with him, and hanging out with him. And we wrote songs for the Knockout album. One made it on the album, which is called "Take My Heart and Run," lovely song. And after that, we kind of lost contact. Once in a while we've seen each other. He was playing in his band Mad Max and Casanova, and we saw each other on festivals, but there wasn't real good contact anymore. And Michael once in a while called me, said we should do something together, and there wasn't not enough time, or I wasn't up to writing with somebody else, because I was so into Bonfire. But after almost 30 years, I think, we met again, and it just feels like on the first day we worked together. It's just a fantastic chemistry between us. And it's so much fun working with him, and he's so creative and talented. And I think the production he did on the Phantom 5 album and what he brought out of me, was just fantastic. And I just say thanks, Michael.
How long were you guys shopping for record labels before you signed with the Frontiers label?
Well, as I already said earlier, nobody from our side contacted the Frontiers label. It was the boss of the Frontiers label, Serafino, who contacted Michael to put together the musicians for the project.
Claus, when we last talked in 1998, bands like Bonfire had to be released on small underground labels like Soraya Recordings. How does it feel after many years to finally get some proper promotion and distribution here in the States?
Yeah, sure. It feels great to have some proper promotion and distribution in a country, because as you know, it's always hard for bands to release an album and to be successful with it. But having a small label which is doing a good job is sometimes better than having a major label. Sometimes they don't do nothing, But it's sometimes it's always a matter of manpower, and so small labels often can do a very, very good job. And but this time it's a proper promotion, as you said, and distribution, and we're looking forward to hearing what the people in the US will say to the album.
How was the songwriting approached? And were there any song ideas left over from your previous bands that never got finished?
Well, the songwriting for us was very interesting, because we decided not to do it at somebody's home, places you are used to, or in the studio. So we said let's go to a little. We rented a little house in the Bavarian forest, in the in the middle of nowhere, and brought some equipment with us, recording equipment, mobile recording equipment, and we just started, And the first song we wrote for the album was "Why," and I still can remember. I was in the kitchen, cooking some spaghetti bolognese, and Michael was setting up the mobile stuff and checking the guitar. And I said, well, this sounds kind of interesting, So he played the riff of "Why." I said, well, we can make a song out of it. And this was the first song we did, between cooking and setting up the gear. And later, Robbie Bubel, the other guitar player who was in frontline, he delivered riffs like heaven, He's an excellent and talented guitar player. And a lot of stuff, he had a strong impact and a strong influence on the songs. And Michael and I sat together, developed and created the melodies, and wrote the lyrics together, and brought in Axel and Francis, for the arrangements, and so the whole thing started. Another interesting thing is, and a very funny thing, by the way, is that on some tracks we still could hear some animals which were running around outside. There were cows and pigs and chicken. It was so funny when I was doing the vocals, because we used a lot of stuff from the recordings from the Bavarian forest sessions, and they are on the tracks, and I mean, the people don't hear it, but we know exactly where they are. And when I listen to the songs, it's still funny, to have these memories.
Claus, where did you get your lyrical inspirations from?
I think all of the inspirations concerning the lyrics came out of the conversations I had with Michael. We were just talking about things, and singing the melodies. Sometimes you came up with a phrase or a good sounding, phonetically good sounding thing, and we said, yeah, let's write about that. It's not nothing special, We tried to put in some interesting stuff, with this tribute song to from They Won't Come Back Again, and that casting thing. It all came very naturally, and it's nothing special. It's just every things that happen in everyday's life, and that was the inspiration we had for the lyrics.
Was Michael Voss responsible for all the musical arrangements, or did others contribute as well?
It was mainly Michael and me who were responsible for the musical arrangements, because Robbie, when he was giving us the riffs, he had certain ideas how the song could be, but the melody made jumps or whatever. So we changed a little and changed the song, So most of the things we three did together.